So I'm going to do a couple of blog tips, and I suppose this is, taking you a bit further in what you would normally do with a blog. When you're doing blogs and just started, I suppose it's just enough to get the content on the page. But there are things you need to do. Now I've got a recent client here who's doing very good blogs at the moment, but just needs a little bit of a hand with the finer points and just kind of taking them a bit further on in what they're doing. Now this is the news feed, and you can see as I scroll down, one of the problems with it is they're not doing the more function. You'll see I've done it with this post here, so we've got a read more to take you to the actual post itself. But the other ones, there's no read more anywhere on these. So in the feed of the news, so this should be a short version of all the blogs. What we're seeing is every single blog on the news page, and obviously that's not how we want this to play out. What we want to do is have the title, the text, and an excerpt. So I'm gonna show you quickly how to do that. So in this section here, I've got that page up here, and the content of it is in this bit here. And if I edit this, we'll go to what you would normally see for the editor. So this is, we're excited about being invited to blah blah blah, the address, then a picture. Now I'm probably going to get her to change this anyway because this doesn't look very good. But what my main concern is at the moment, when you go into here, is that it shows the whole thing with this picture, and I want to get rid of that picture and maybe chop it after that bit there. So when you come into here, if I just put my cursor at the end of this first paragraph, and that's normally what you would do. The first paragraph would be your excerpt. That's where you would kind of sum it up. But to all intents and purposes, you're going to leave the person hanging. They're going to need to know more. So you're going to need to, like, you know, don't tell the full story in the first paragraph. Otherwise, people have little reason to click read more. And maybe, you know, allude to the fact that there's something, you know, worth reading further on. So anyway, I've clicked on that paragraph there, and this little button here, insert read more tag. When I click on that, you're going to see a line and the word more. And when I click done and I update this page, when we then go back into the blog itself and refresh this page, you'll see that instead of having all the content, I've now got a read more button. And as we do that for all of them, you'll see that the blog you'll get, I've got 2 posts there. There's my third post, and unfortunately, because the third post is so big, it goes on and on and on, and it takes me a long time to get to the next one. So that's the first step. The first kind of way to clean up your blogs is to add the read more function. If your template doesn't do it automatically and some do, that's the way to do it. Edit the content wherever the content is, and after that first paragraph or the first bit of text you want, make sure you add a read more link to it. And it's worth still doing that if your template does it for you anyway. If you haven't done that before and you think, well, actually my template cuts it after the first paragraph anyway and it shows it all right, then it's still worth doing it, because you might change your template and the next template you have might not have that function. So it's worth doing. Yeah, so that's the more function. Okay, so I've been through the first page of blogs and changed them all, and now you can see that you go from one blog to seeing the next one, so there's not masses between them, and wherever you are, there's the read more button to go to the full content. So instead of having everything on the page, we've got a nice picture, an excerpt, and then a read more button to take you to the meat of the page. Done.